morning to every eye with the watchers again. Yes, good morning once again because before we been finished kukuruku, we talk am for the show. Say we talk and say property matter go dey shele any moment. But I would want us to yield the floor to the person we go dey do and go. That is engineer Debo. Ma we sabi onto the matter.
Good morning, Chief. How are you?
Good morning, sir. How you doing, sir?
Very well. Good morning, viewers. You said?
I said, see you on you.
See, okay. See you on you. Good morning, our viewers. How are you? I'm sure that you've been enjoying yourself and enjoying what we've been sharing. If you've had any time missed, you can go to the WAP TV YouTube channel and catch up on some of the things that you could have missed. Okay, so today, what are we going to be discussing? Last week, I think we allowed for questions that you call in and ask your questions. But today we'll be talking about housing career. Housing career. Just like your career, there is a housing career. I mean, what is called housing career? People move from one house to the other, if you understand me. And there is a system or a pattern, supposedly, to the madness, if you want to say it that way. So that's what we'll be discussing. How do people move, And you just see the movement, how people, they move from one type of property to another, to another, to another. The way it is, if we draw for graph, for paper, it will look like people move like this in terms of size. So they move to bigger size properties like that. And then they start to also need smaller size properties, That's how it is. Just this weekend, I was discussing with a young couple who are trying to secure an accommodation where they would stay when they get married next month. So they are quite in the market shopping. And where they got, you know what? It was in a family house, let's say. So older couple, they have a house in a very good part of town, okay? And they just converted a portion of their house to a lettable space, because now it is just the man and his wife. Their children are out of the house, so they don't need that big size. So they have to start cutting it. What happens in other environments is that, or even for some other people, even in this environment, is that they will sell that house, okay, and move to a smaller sized property. So that they can, because there are a lot of things that come with owning a house that people must realize, so that they can manage it and stuff like that. So when we talk about housing career, we are simply talking about how people move from one type of house in terms of size and quality to another. Yes, it's usually in terms of size and quality to another. And this is how the graph goes. It goes up and then it starts to come down.
Well, I say this one an interesting topic because at the beginning, the one that I waiting
be housing career. Just like you move in your career, you also move in your housing.
But in this part of the world, engineer Debo, maybe look am where in this part of the world, this housing career thing, now something will be say people they. I know you might disagree, but it's the fact people they see them as because, for instance, now, person, and I want you to react to this, sensitize us. If person they stay inside, maybe mansion, big mansion, with ear and children,
man with son, man and his son,
mansion, they stay inside mansion. Okay. So understand? Maybe you can't look like you take talk. Say, well, my children don't marry. The boys are already on their own. They are doing fine. What's the essence of keeping all these plenty rooms without nobody? Let me go to maybe a 4-bedroom apartment while I let this one out. The mentality where people get for this part of the world, kolowo money, young broke.
I totally agree with you. For the uninformed, people that are not informed, they adduce anything to anything. Okay, say for example, if I stay, this is how it is for housing career proper. If I stay somewhere in Ajao Estate, in a mansion, in a mansion, and my children are out of the house, it's just me and my wife, Now, if I sell that Ajawa Estate property, I even sell it outright, and you hear that where I moved to is Ikeja GRA, even if it is a flat there, maybe a 2-bedroom flat, in a serviced apartment where they put the generator on for us, they get security and everything. Will you say, because I'm pushing the question back to you, will you say what he gets here, any? Or what?
I no go talk that one.
Why?
Nǹkan tún rọgbọ díẹ̀.
That's what we are saying. So that is housing career. He's talking about the size and quality. When you move, you are moving in terms of size and quality. So when you first start your life, as a bachelor, for example, you're working, you probably just need a studio apartment. Or you even share a house with even that studio, you may share it with a friend. Two of you are staying in that.
Because to enter and sleep.
You know. But by the time you want
one person won't get visitor, you go tell the other, say,
I don't know about visitor. We are not talking. I know. I'm still together.
When I do single man life.
Single man life.
Single man life. That's the ambassador. When if you want somebody want to get visitor, they say, the Jew, however, I want to get visitor today. Say, okay, no problem. He will be as a squatter in another person's house. So the next day, life will continue.
See, as I'm looking at you, with all this your gray hair, you are still talking about
when in the early 70s.
Early
70s.
It is 70s. So. Exactly. So you stay in a studio. Maybe you even share it with your friend. Okay. If you should want to get married, one of you would have to live for the other.
Also,
at least, yes. As in you are just newlywed, you can still stay in a studio with your wife, newlywed. But you see,
what is the definition of a studio? Is it
a studio is a large room that you have a sleeping area, you have a sitting area, and then you have your own toilet and bath. You have your own kitchenette. Your toilet and bath, of course. Your toilet and bath. But the kitchenette, the sitting area, bedding area can just be one open space.
That one, American female, they sit down.
Then they.
For here. Because I see some American house, you could get kissing inside the sitting room, everything.
And that one does not have to even be a studio. There are 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms that are like that. That's how they design. Even terraces, or that's how they design their own kitchen. And it's suitable for their type of food. For us, if you have open kitchen like that, you are not careful. You don't have a good hoover that you are.
You don't fry.
And you are frying your
what you fry it, you don't buy it everywhere.
Exactly. So that the problem is that. So if you marry into that studio, say your friend now excuse you, okay, so you marry into that studio. By the time you are expecting a child, nobody will tell you that, because in our custom, when you are expecting a child, at least somebody will come and stay with you. Somebody will come and stay with you. So nobody will tell you that you need to then move to probably a 2-bedroom.
Minimum.
You understand? A 2-bedroom. So that's an housing career. You've already started your career. You've moved from a studio, you are moving to a 2-bedroom. Now, you gave birth your firstborn, your secondborn. If you are the type that you just want to stay at 2 or at 3, let's say you give birth to your thirdborn, and they are not of the same gender. You're now in a 2-bedroom. By the time you are actually giving birth to your secondborn, even from your firstborn, you start needing help in our kind of situation. Now, if you need help and you stay in a 2-bedroom, you have a child, your child now stays in his or her room. You and your husband stay in your room. You understand? The help is managing anywhere. It's only a matter of time. You will see that you need to move. So by the time you have the second child, or by the third child, nobody will tell you that you need to move to a 2-bedroom. You are progressing in your career to a 3-bedroom. Sorry, you are progressing in your career. Do you understand? Now, 3-bedroom, you have 3 children. By the time they are grown up, and you're also advancing in your job, you now have, oftentimes people come visit and stuff like that, or you have a driver, or things like that may have to stay behind. You want to move to a 4-bedroom house. That's projection. Now, let's assume that you stop at 4-bedroom. Okay. Then your kids are grown up. They've all gone to school. After school, they come and they get married. From 3 kids, you are left with 2 that come home occasionally for holiday. From 2, you are left with 1. From 1, the nest is empty. So you just have 4. Now the challenge of taking care, don't forget, you are now not as young as you used to be. The challenge of taking care of a 4-bedroom house, or depending on the type, maybe it's the type you bought is still the type that you are the one that will go and switch on the generator. You know, by the time you still live in that place, it is your children that will be doing all of those. By the time they leave the house, it's left to you. Or help, you know, or assistant. So as it goes, you may see that, look, this house is too big. The challenge of maintaining is cost. It doesn't even make sense to be spending money.
They sweep where nobody they stay.
Exactly, you know. So, and that's why you enter some elderly people's home, and you just pity them because everywhere is dusty. And everywhere is because what would they kill themselves? Yeah. But what they are supposed to do, which sometimes they don't do, is you can reconfigure the house. For example, if you are not selling it, for example, what you need is a smaller sized apartment, better quality, yes. You should try and, in terms of quality, you should always be improving. But in terms of size, the way it goes is that your size will be increasing and then it gets to a point it will have to be reducing.
Falling slope.
Exactly. But for quality, it should continue to, at least, God helping you, it should continue to improve.
That one, I know, go even make person think. Say, I've been a poverty, make me do this.
Exactly. You understand? So, in that kind of a situation, they either, sell that property. In other part of the world, they will easily sell that property. Because where that property is even located may not be where their children can easily come. The children that are probably still in town, So, they will sell that property and move to a smaller but better property that is closer to town, where they have access to all of those things. Or some will move to a more quiet and serene place.
Where elderly person feels
peace, where they will have peace of mind. Maybe village or something,
Because some places where we say, make we no life for ourselves. If person stay for those kind of places, it no go last.
It no go last. Like which place?
I don't want to call name, but there are some places where we say, when person wake up in the morning at some certain age, where we say the vegetable where you go shop, the natural. Fruit where you go shop, the natural. You know if I'm tutu. Sometimes
no, the effort way they make your belly they cool.
Okay. Make person go they will CMS at 90.
So it's a problem. So you need to move quality, even if the size is appropriate in that kind of a place. Quality is a challenge because at that age you need a more qualitative life, a more serene, peaceful life, So some people move to the village at that point. Why the village? Even though they may have a bigger house in the village, But with the village setting, there are a lot of people who will come and stay with them. So they can have people that will take care of that house. And then they have access to some of these things you are talking about. They can do gardening in their compound and stuff like that. So they have better quality of life.
My uncle, who is in a former MD for bank, as he resigned, he just go village.
He retire.
Thank you. He retire. Can't go village. When he go village.
Village.
Yes. If you see the kind like
the way they call this village.
That's the way they go say.
The chopper.
The time when I can't go Oyo, when I go visit that, you go to say that my uncle be the share. They go my uncle house more than the share my local government house. Because everybody will want to go there in the those small things. Ask you go there here, go there here, in go come get all this rechargeable deck, big one.
Okay.
Play
news radio.
Elderly men. Now only go carry newspaper. Everybody go come they look at.
They don't supply a newspaper. Men don't supply them.
I say if they hear the news finish, now you go to tell them what happen inside newspaper.
Yeah.
All of them, but they must not take more than 2 cups of coffee. He is a banker. Everything
calculated.
Anybody will drink past 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah, they go.
Let's go on this break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Yes, you are welcome back, and I want to believe say when they learn 1 or 2 things because WAP TV at the station will be say we go laugh but we go still learn. Lesson they do inside everything. We will do too. That's why we call them infotainment. Infotainment because we will inform you and still entertain you. One way Engineer Debo start for us today na housing career, meaning say as you start your life wey you feel say na one room e good for you, when you can't get married wey you think say na room and parlour self-contained, when you can't get children wey you move to 3-bedroom flat, how about if you don get that mansion and all your children don go, kí ló fi ń ṣe gangan? All those empty room, you know say na something supposed to dey bring for you. You get house, you still dey say you poor, still dey complain of money. Why? Na the essence of today's topic, housing career. Now sir, let us go back to another practical question wey I wan ask. Person get practical now, person, because some people dey watch us wey this thing wey we dey talk dey wan learn. Person get mansion for instance now, and na the only mansion wey you get, no get house another place, but this thing wey you talk, you see lesson there, you touch am. The reality now, if you wan do am, maybe they wan
partition the place
in the house, how you go take, where you go dey, so tell you lomo gbe ni, say no tell you go rent ni, say you go in brother place go squat ni for that period of at least minimum of 1 month 2 months, wey they go take do the partition.
Okay, now depending on what they are trying to do, I would advise that he talks to a professional. He may not have to leave his
comfort zone.
Yes, they will just do his own, you know. He will pick a place that is suitable for him, you know. They can plan it out and he may not have to leave that house.
Possible.
Okay? Yes. Then if he has to leave the house, of course, if he has the money and he has to leave the house, let's say for like a week, 2 or 3 or 1 month, he can go stay in wherever he wants to stay or travel to the village for that period or something. I mean, he can work out something. He can work out something. That is if he still wants to stay in that neighborhood, that place is still okay for him, but he just wants to convert some of the extra space to economic gain for himself. Why not? He can work it out. He should just talk to professionals. They will help in, they will do the needful, get the necessary approvals and things like that, and do what they need to do in partitioning, and he will get some very good income from it.
Wow.
Yeah, that can even help his, you know, his enjoyment of his retirement. You know, very important. But I would really like that people call in. Let them share what has been their own housing career experiences. Where was the first place you lived? In terms of size and quality, is that where you are right now? Where were you in your life when you first got your first property? Whether you rented it or you bought it, we are talking about whether you rented it or where you are staying, okay? And then how many places have you moved to? Have you changed in terms of quality or in terms of size? Why did you change? Then also share with us, what's your plan for your future? You know, because people need to be thinking about it. What I realize is that a lot of people don't actually think about it. It just happened on them. They just realize that, I'm the chief of Isolo. My house, I mean, you grew up in Irakari and all of that. You see some houses. The last time I was around my parents' area in Irakari, I passed through a particular street where, I mean,
What is the name of that?
Don't let us mention street name.
Everywhere for
You see, that street is one of the most beautiful in terms of the type of houses and the caliber of people.
You are talking about Debo.
I said one of the. I didn't say the. I said one of. I said one of the. I didn't say the.
Go big bar area.
You know, so you know, I passed that place because I know the history of almost every house there. I know the children that came out of there and stuff like that. I was looking at the house and I said, "Wow." Once, I mean, these houses were. You know, a lot of them, they've had to remodel them, they've had to convert them. In fact, there is none, sincerely, there is none that the landlords are still there.
Kai.
Some of them have relocated, some of them have passed on. There is, one. Okay, I remember there is one that I think the landlord is still there. Other than that one, every other, I say, wow, how time flies. You know, so if those people that didn't, you can imagine if some of them still stay in the whole house, a whole house.
You know, see that house where they take sing that time. I know one mention. Landlord.
You know, and you see, you know, it's more or less abandoned or something.
Yes, landlord. Landlord. I don't want to, but you know where I'm going.
I know. So what are you planning? What's your plan?
Because I know him very well. I know him in person. We talk.
Yes, he partitioned. I know.
He did what this housing career.
He partitioned. Yeah, I know.
And when he do this housing career, a lot of people will know close to him. Like we close to him at that time. They will say, he don't broke. But the man explained that, look at this old, and you know that place in a vast land, many buildings in there. So he said, look at
even get shops for the side.
He said, what he want they can do. It's too much. It's just him and his wife. And the man, like say maybe came a party, wait he did there. And he went somewhere neighboring Ogun State here, got a very portable apartment, and is enjoying his life now without looking at anybody's face.
And you know he sold that property
He sold it now. He sold it. I know a bank bought it that time and stuff like that. But the essence of what at the top, say those of us we closer to that at that time, in they tell us say, this, and there's nobody using the place except him and madam and our own sister. We rent one apartment. I say, no, but this is too big for me. He took this housing career decision and he moved to he bought that place, a very portable area, and he enjoy it. When we call him for food, we say, this place have food they available, say don't even turn farm out and everything.
And his life, so quality of life will be better. You know, and he was already even farming in that other place. He was doing fish farming before he sold the place. No, before he sold the place, he was doing fish farming there. So yes. He could also, So can people just? I would really love that we get one or two calls and let people share their career. How has it been for you? Your first house
for your. Excuse me. You got to have been a life for you. That's for Okebo. So understand, all of us now inside.
No, I'm not talking about you staying with your parents. When you became, when you started to stay alone.
No, you know, our parents they get their own. They go give us one big room. So like 7 of us for your that time for Okebo. So later, when I come Lagos,
yeah.
Understand? When I come Lagos, I start with I've been fortunate, yeah.
Yeah.
I started my life in a flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two bedroom or 3 bedroom?
4-bedroom flat.
4-bedroom flat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Never no believer.
Yeah.
You know, if you are a chief, you are a chief.
See?
Alone that chief.
See?
Because that time, make I no lie. Now room and parlor.
Okay.
My wife it was.
Okay.
Room and parlor won't go
rent
for a go.
Okay.
Can't forget the name of the street. That time na December. Now my wife just want begin life. I don't carry half of money, give to the landlord. Me, I don't they look say, this December now, dear me and my wife go start life. And the room about got a day for our window toilet, but yet we are eager to go and start life. I go there. The man tell me say make I no face. Now the man said if you own that street, I can't. Say make I no face. Say Pepe say in son.
Won't use the place.
But I know it's not Banje. Now another person we don't pay money
pass you.
We get caller. Who is there? Hello?
Hello?
Good morning, ma.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
I'm fine. I am Beatrice, calling from Niger State.
Okay, Madam Beatrice.
Beatrice, how are you? So, can you share with us your own journey, housing career?
Okay, I'm really enjoying the program and I want to share my own testimony as a sort of encouragement to others.
Yeah, thank you. Right.
I got married. We were staying in a very small apartment of about 7,500.
Okay.
We were paying 7,500 and we found it difficult to pay. We did not say we are going to look for a bigger because we knew the size of our finances. So by the time we later moved to a better one as in 2-bedroom flat,
okay.
we now decided to say we don't want to move to another person's house by paying them
rent again.
Rent.
Regarding house rent for them. We now moved to our own land and we're able to build our own building. Now we are having a 3-bedroom flat. A very big contract. So I want to advise people that it's very good. At times, all this money we are wasting in renting houses. When you gather them together, you have to bring down your pride and gather yourself together. Look for a land, you buy, you build a house of your own. Now you see that you live a better life. That is my contribution, sir.
Thank you so much, Madam Beatrice. Thank you so much for the contribution. So you see, housing career also involves you transforming from tenants to landlord.
There is a
And the
point
truth of the matter, sorry, just hold it. The truth of the matter is that you can actually find yourself in the dynamics of mixing quality and size. Find yourself transformed from tenants to landlord and then tenants. Okay, so like I said, if I sold my house,
okay,
I may not want to take the money and buy another house in some other place. I may just want to rent in a better part of town. You understand? But what it will mean is that I have sufficient money to continue to pay rent. However, it usually doesn't make sense. You understand? If you can if you can afford to buy, you understand? It doesn't make sense to then start just to be renting, except if the money you are using to rent is being generated by an ongoing transaction.
But if it's from the rent, is it advisable?
From which? From the rent of, yes, of course, yeah. Of course. That means that house is actually, you more or less own the property, and you are using that to serve your own.
We get 2 twin building for inside Isagaye and he rent apartment for Oludegun.
Why not? Why not? So the buildings are paying for his rent. Yeah, why not? It makes sense. Why not? He has secured himself. That's it.
Well, I don't want to believe we are done with this housing career, because we definitely give the phone lines or keep the phone lines open next week so that everybody go fit tell us, like Madam Beatrice tell us our own. My name is Chief Olododo. I want to say thank you for watching. Bye.
Thank you. See you next week.